everyone, welcome to another episode of Airstream Expeditions. My name is Julio, and this weekend we're camped out at the Indian Cove Campground here in Joshua Tree National Park. In today's episode, we'll show you around camp, stop by the visitor center, and much, much more. So come hang out with us and explore Joshua Tree National Park with us. Here in Southern California, two deserts converge to form a strange and wonderful landscape. The high Mojave Desert tumbles into the low Colorado, blending each ecosystem's plants and wildlife. The result is a desert ecosystem with giant smooth rocks sculpted by strong winds, cactus and yucca plants, and an endlessly adaptable population of birds, reptiles, and mammals. America's 54th national park is named after its most iconic resident, the Joshua Tree. This yucca plant with its quirky limbs looks like a Dr. Seuss illustration come to life. The Joshua trees thrive in the Mojave region of the park, where they reminded early Mormon settlers of a biblical figure, Joshua, as he led Israelites into the promised land with outstretched arms. Joshua Tree National Park now gets over 1 million visitors per year. Rock climbers, painters, hikers, and stargazers all find a unique blend of tranquility and adventure here in this dry wilderness. Our home base for the weekend is the Indian Cove Campground. The campground is situated around steep rock formations for which Joshua Tree is known. Because of its proximity to many rock climbing routes, it's a popular camping location amongst climbers. Indian Cove is one of 4 campgrounds in the national park that requires year-round reservations. The best time to visit Joshua Tree is from October through May, when temperatures hover between 70 to 90 degrees during the day and drop down to about 40 to 60 degrees at night. The campground has 101 individual campsites as well as 13 tent-only group sites. There are no hookups or drinking water in the campground. However, water and an emergency phone are available 2 miles away at the ranger station. The town of 29 Palms is less than 10 miles away and provides basic amenities. The park allows 6 people and 2 vehicles per site. However, it's important to know that some sites are very small and may not accommodate the maximum number of people and or vehicles. Each site is equipped with your standard picnic table and fire ring. Most sites are also located next to these huge boulders, which will allow people of all ages to scramble and explore. Several hiking trails also leave the campground. There's a short interpretive nature trail and an amphitheater where ranger-led interpretive programs are held on a weekly basis. All 4 developed campgrounds in the park are extremely popular and advanced reservations are highly recommended. You can book a campsite on recreation.gov. After a night of stargazing and a campfire, the next morning we woke up early, had our coffee, and headed over to the Cholla Cactus Garden, which is located along the Pinto Basin Road near the transition zone between the Colorado and the Mojave deserts. The Cholla Cactus Garden is a spectacular sight to see. There are nearly 10 acres of landscape dominated by the teddy bear cholla. These furry cactus are anything but cuddly, so don't get too close. The prickly part will attach to your skin very easily, and it hurts like heck to get them out. It's best to see this sight at sunrise or sunset so that you can see how the fuzzy plants light up in the glow. Arch Rock is a popular area and a very short hike from the Twin Tanks parking lot. It's a great place for photography, but get here early if you want to beat the crowds. An added bonus is that Heart Rock is located further down the trail and just a short distance away. Cap Rock is a popular rock formation in the central part of the park. Located near the north end of Keys View Road and near Park Boulevard, Cap Rock is an easy-to-reach location. In addition to the unique rock formation, Cap Rock offers a picnic area with grills, as well as the Cap Rock Nature Trail for a short walk through nearby rock formations with interpretive signs along the way to learn about the area. As we left the park and headed back to camp for the day, we made a quick pit stop by the visitor center. Recently opened in May of 2022, this new visitor center replaced the Oasis Visitor Center, which was in operation for over 60 years. In addition to the beautiful bookstore and information center, this new visitor and cultural center features an incredible museum space which will feature rotating exhibits celebrating the culture, history, and stories of Native American communities. The new facility is located at 6533 Freedom Way in the center of 29 Palms' newly completed Freedom Plaza. It's open 7 days a week from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. The next morning, we headed back to the park. We were one of the lucky few that were able to reserve a tour at the old homestead at Keys Ranch. Keys Ranch is a prime example of early settlement in the Joshua Tree National Park area. Bill Keys was the area's leading character, and his ranch is a symbol of the resourcefulness of early settlers. The ranch is an extensive complex of small frame buildings built between 1910 and Bill Keys' death in 1964. National Park Ranger Dave was our tour guide for the day, and he did a wonderful job describing what life was like living at the Keys Ranch.
So I just want to say congratulations on getting tickets to this thing. You know, this park, we get about 3 million visitors per year, which is a lot. But because Keys Ranch tours are limited and group size is limited, it's only a fraction of 1% of park visitors that come to this special place. So you guys are doing something special today. Keys Ranch is kind of frozen in time. This place is preserved much as it was a century ago when Bill and Frances Keys were living out here in the early 1900s, raising 5 children. Bill Keys came out to this area around 1910. He acquired this property around 1915, and in 1918 he married Frances, and together they raised 5 children out here at the ranch.
One of the things that drew people out to the middle of nowhere in the early 1900s was the Homestead Act. The Homestead Act stated that if you go out to the middle of nowhere and built a house that was at least 10 by 12 feet and lived in it for at least 3 years, the government would deed you the land. The Homestead Act was established to help develop the American West and spur economic growth.
So Bill Keys worked a little bit as a gold miner, a little bit as a cowboy, a little bit as a mule skinner. Mule skinner is the guy that would sit at the front of the wagons and drive the mules. So Bill did all of these things. So I'm just going to start talking about what we have here. So there's the ranch house where the family lived. Now that. And then they added on more as the family grew. So it started out as just the one little house, 10 feet by 12 feet. All right, I think the next thing we should probably talk about is this hand-operated drill. Let's go take a look. It was being used to split stone. And the reason they were breaking up granite is look at the chimney on the house. We're gonna actually walk right past the chimney. You'll get a chance to see it up close, but it's a pretty remarkable piece of masonry work. The technique was to drill a row of holes in the stone, pound in wooden stakes, and then soak the wooden stakes with water. And when the wood would expand, it would split the stone. What do you think? To make money? Yeah. It's a gold mill. Yeah. It's a single stamp gold mill, and the way that works is a gold mine is just a hole in the ground out here, right? So you got a mine shaft. The material that comes out of the mine shaft is just rock and dirt, but if you're a gold miner, you call that ore. What's amazing is that Bill Keys was out here turning rock and dirt into gold. So he was a gold miner. That's one way that he made money. System, and it would soak the burlap, and when the breeze would blow through, it would cool down the milk and butter. So before you had a refrigerator, that was a way to keep milk and butter cool, because it would be like an evaporative cooler. The other thing I want to point out is that as we walk by here, feel free to look in the windows. Take a moment to appreciate how well built the chimney is. If you're wondering why there's a bridge going that way, that's a shortcut to the potty from the kids' bedroom.
Smart.
Mm-hmm. This is really pretty here too.
Yeah, and they use the hand drill for that, right?
Probably, yeah. And then the best way was to have the windmill spin in the wind and pump the water up to the tank, and then it would be gravity fed to the garden or the house. So different technologies for utilizing a well. All right, so in this building, if you look inside, you're just going to see a few desks and some books. What do you think it is?
School.
What? Not quite.
School. Library.
School! Yes, a school. Were you going to guess school? Yeah? All right.
All right.
This school was in operation for 6 years, from 1936 to 1942. Not only did some of the Keys children go here, but some of the neighboring homesteading families also sent their children. And because many children were coming, or a few children were coming, the county paid for a teacher. Joshua Tree National Park is a big place. It's almost 800,000 acres, about as big as the state of Rhode Island. Something interesting about the national park is more than 80% of it is congressionally designated wilderness. So in a national park, we can build a road, a bathroom, a picnic area, a campground. We can even build a visitor center. But in congressionally designated wilderness, we can't build anything. It has to be nature, untouched by the hand of man. And I think that's wonderful, because no matter how developed the outside world becomes, by protecting it the way that the National Park Service does, it ensures future generations will have a wilderness experience. And then in the case of Keys Ranch, I'm very grateful that this place is protected, because it will allow generations into the future to get an idea of what life is like on a turn-of-the-century working ranch homestead. You know, you could learn about this stuff in a book, but it's just not the same. There's no replacement to come out and see it. Last thing I'll leave you with is, if we love our national parks, what can we do to help our national parks? There's so many answers, different things. What?
To make it better.
To make it better? What do you think?
Like try to protect more places.
Well, that happens. It seems like every president of the United States will try to make another monument, which is a protected area, and national monuments will sometimes become national parks. You know, there's so many things we can do. We can, you know, just by coming to the national park and paying an entrance fee or buying a souvenir, it helps. I've had people say you can donate. What else?
I was going to say that.
Donate. Some people say we should hire elected officials that love our national park. There's a lot of right answers, but there's one thing above all else that I think we should all do if we love our national parks. We should continue to be good stewards of the land. We should leave these places as clean as when we found them. I am Park Ranger Dave. Thank you so much for coming out today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave.
Our time at the ranch had come to an end, and it was a great tour. It's easy to see why this area is off limits to the public, since there are so many historical artifacts. The sheer amount of stuff and how well it's been maintained and preserved makes it a unique place to explore. I would highly recommend the Keys Ranch tour when visiting Joshua Tree National Park. Our final stop of the weekend was the Hidden Valley Trail. Hidden Valley is one of Joshua Tree National Park's most popular hikes. The 1-mile loop takes you through the valley, which is primarily enclosed from the outside world with towering rock walls. It was also a popular spot for rustlers to hide their cattle and is mainly a confined valley. The trail is pretty level and is an excellent hike for the whole family. We had a great time exploring Joshua Tree National Park, and we hope you did as well. Please join us next week as we visit Death Valley National Park. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to give us a big thumbs up below. And while you're down there, you'll see the comment section. If any of you have any questions regarding the campground or things to do in the area, please make sure to leave a comment, and I'll make sure to get back to you as soon as possible. If you've enjoyed our content, please make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And while you're down there, go ahead and ring that notification bell to ensure that you don't miss any future episodes of Airstream Expeditions. So, until next time, I remind you all that now is the time to get out and explore.